are increasing. How is it that educational institutions are being allowed to become this type of for-profit machines rather than public service machines? So, two difficult questions, I'm afraid.
Two really very interesting questions, but not so difficult. I will answer the first one, saying that the issue of capacity building is a very crucial issue for developing countries. We are even going further than capacity building. Capacity building, what that meant? Capacity building meant that you take students, you bring them in universities, you bring them in universities and you expect them to come back home after receiving the training to, so to say, contribute with their skills in the development of their countries. Most of the time, this process has led to brain drain, where the experts rather remain in the country where they have been trained. And not only that, even experts in their countries, because they are not well paid, they leave a country to go and work in developed countries, which is a kind of real problem for the developing countries, the capacity to retain the skills that they have developed. And instead of that, many countries has considered the possibility, and this is a prospect that the United Nations also is promoting, the possibility of increasing the facilities development, to develop the facilities in developing countries so that people can be trained at home in full contact with the realities they have to change. This is also a prospect, but it's not well supported. And at the end, young people ended up in a trap of isolation, faced with difficult prospects, with lack of opportunities. This is a real issue, and we have really to address it. And that's why now we are talking of capacity development instead of capacity building. Capacity development means that if there is something which is necessary, you need not only train the people, but you need also to build the institution where the skills will be used. And you need to solve all other problems which will allow this institution to really have an impact, to really take its place in the development process of a country. And this all is called capacity development, and the human capital is very important for that, and we are placing a lot of skills, a lot of emphasis on that. And the use of ICT is very important at the time we have now, because of the quantities we have to deal with. In the 80s, my country was dealing with 1,500 students. Now we have more than 10,000. Now we are obliged to open a second university in the north, and many other university schools in various parts, to really offer this opportunity of getting access to, so to say, skills, professional skills to the young people. As regards the second issue, this is a real society and system issue of the cost of training, and who bear that cost. I have been, for instance, working for 7 years here, but all my sparings, all my economy, how do you call it, what the money, my savings are devoted to paying tuition for my children in Canada, for the 2 boys that I sent to Canada to gain an internship. Many don't have the same possibility as me, and really the tuition issue is becoming a very important one. We need to rethink the tuition issue so that it is more covered by society, who will benefit from the trainings that the young people are getting. It should be one of the major investment assets for our societies. We need to invest more in such activities rather than investing in developing new type of arms to destroy humanity. We need to really harness more resources to developing young human capital, to building more stable societies rather than investing in arms. That's one of my struggles in the United Nations, because I happen to be also the president of the Disarmament Commission of the United Nations.
I think all our students in front, in all the universities, must think this through for themselves.
Definitely.
Throughout the world, education and health are
The most expensive.
public services. They are not profitable, they are not for-profit
Definitely.
industries.
Definitely.
And this is true even of developed countries in Europe. The education and health is a public service. It is not a profit-making enterprise. But in the United States, somehow the American way of life has built both of these up as a for-profit institutions. And so we leave it to you to think this through, whether the European experience, which is public service, the rest of the world, 75% of the world, education and health is 100% public service, not for profit. And so, and even next door, it's absolutely surprising that you have the United States, which is the same across the border. There's a country called Canada, which is identical to the United States. And you notice that in Canada, education and health are public service. But in the United States, they are not. Now, the answer to that, I'm afraid, has to be found by the universities and the students in the United States itself. Over to Montclair for two questions from Montclair.
So my question has to do with the fact that in many countries, youth unemployment is a larger issue than unemployment among adults. And this is due to the fact that youth don't have adequate experience in the workforce. So you said that internships are solutions to the lack of the experience, but most internships are unpaid. In some countries, such as France, the government gives youth living money when they have internships. Do you think this could work on a worldwide level? And if not, how do you expect youth to live off unpaid internships?
Thank you. We have a second question? Lila?
Go to the
We just moved that to
Good morning. As you were just saying, traveling abroad is crucial for young people to become connected globally. Are there UN-endorsed programs abroad that provide aid at grassroots levels that are affordable for students? If these were established, young people would have a more productive portal to get involved globally.
Very good questions. The two questions. The first is, why are internships unpaid? Why can't we pay? After all, we are wasting so much money on other things.
Definitely.
Why can't we give some subsistence allowance to interns? Both of us, I'm sure you and I were both educated abroad. I had 100% fellowship, scholarship. I never spent a penny out of my pocket throughout my education. So why are we making such an issue of unpaid internships? I have a supplementary to that question. You have 200 internships in the United Nations. Why? Why can't it be 2,000 internships? What prevents us from tripling, quadrupling, multiplying by 10% the internships? They are very useful, these interns. They do a lot of work when they come. Why are we limiting it to just 200? So that is the internship question. The other thing is the ground level assistance in the field to give assistance to students. Now we have 154 offices of UNDP abroad. Why can't each one of those offices open a basement with 20 computers and allow free access to students to come in and use those computers with internet access, so that at least students in Benin or in all other countries can use the basement of the UNDP office as a training institution. It's a simple device. Computers cost almost nothing. Internet access can be guaranteed by the UN because it has its own access. Why can't the UN positively use its offices to help young people in 154 countries. So